The last time we paid a visit to Withrow Springs State Park north of Huntsville, we hiked along War Eagle Trail. Well, this time we're back to float War Eagle Creek, and with sights like these, we couldn't wait to come back here. Daniel, you ready? Yeah, let's hit it.
Behind us, we've got Big Eddy. And to me, it's one of the most beautiful spots on the creek. It's probably one of the tallest bluffs we'll see today. The area we're putting in on is a private access, and I just want to say thank you to the family that allowed us to access the river. It's the family of Robert Swain. They do a lot to promote the creek and the area. And so this is where we're going to begin our float, and we're going to float about 2 miles down to Withrow Springs State Park, the Highway 23 access. Today, hopefully, we'll be able to see a couple eagles, maybe some deer and turkey. This time of year is great for that. Probably our biggest issue today is going to be low water. I'm sure we're going to have to get out and drag a little bit, but I think we'll make it. I think the gauge right now is probably somewhere below 1.5 feet, and really an optimum level is anywhere from 2 to 3 foot. So the floating season is normally late February to July, but this year it's been kind of tough. It's been a little spotty with the low rainfall, but I think we'll make it. Like I said, we might have to get out a little bit, but we'll get there.
So for a family outing, this is probably the perfect creek, I would think.
Oh yeah, this is generally a very easy-going float, usually class 1. Of course, in times of high water, you always have to take that into consideration, and you have to do that with any river, creek, or any moving water. But with the War Eagle, usually very easy going. There are occasional hazards with strainers and down trees, in which I haven't floated this section in a couple months, so hopefully we don't run into that today, but if we do, we'll just have to take it easy and deal with it when we get there.
Normally, the put-in area is at the Highway 412 access and then taking out at the Highway 23 access just south of Withrow Springs State Park, making it a 4.6-mile float, taking several hours.
The War Eagle, it begins in the southern part of Madison County in the Ozark National Forest, and the headwaters of the War Eagle are pretty much in the same area as the headwaters of the White River, the Buffalo, the Mulberry, and Big Piney. And it's one of those deals where I think the War Eagle kind of gets overlooked by a lot of people. You know, a lot of people have heard of the Buffalo and the Mulberry, but there's still some people out there that have never been on the War Eagle or even heard of it. So I think it's kind of a hidden treasure, but we're starting to see more traffic on it every year. So I think it's kind of being discovered right now, which is a really good thing.
Well, it's definitely, if you want to go out and have, a solitude out here and a good, calm float, picturesque, this is it.
Yeah. And that's the thing about it. It's a great family stream. A really good float, really easy going float. Generally, you don't have the crowds. On the weekends, you might see a couple boats, but it's not too bad. There can be some really good fishing along the creek as well. We have several people that camp with us, and they come out and they fish for smallmouth bass and largemouth, spotted bass, as well as catfish and brim. But it can be really good fishing at times.
Besides great float fishing opportunities on War Eagle Creek, there are also excellent photo ops as well, what with all the wildlife, the bluffs, and various rock ledge overhangs that you can traverse under. Canoe and kayak rentals are available at Withrow Springs State Park by appointment with a park interpreter ready to guide you on the float. Keep in mind these rentals are dependent on War Eagle Creek's water level and it is advisable to check with the park on flow levels before reserving your canoe or kayak.
In the past, we've taken you on the Wild Cave tour here at Blanchard Springs Caverns, but for those of you who aren't able to make that tour, there's the regular tour in the developed section of the caverns. And this has the extra added benefit of being well lit, which lets you enjoy the full splendor of the cave formations.
You may hear them called frozen waterfalls. It's a fairly common name. I prefer to call them cave bacon. When you see the light shining through the back of them, they look for all the world like a big strip of bacon hanging on a wall.
When talking about the history of the exploration of Blanchard Caverns, one has to go back in time at least 1,000 years. For it was about that long ago when an early Native American met his fate when he ventured into the cave and never came out. A skull and a few scattered bones are all that remain. After the Native American exploration attempt, for 1,000 years or more, the caverns existed without any evidence of human visits. During the 1800s, when the Ozarks were being settled, there was still no evidence of anyone that dared to descend into these depths. Even the settler for whom the springs and caverns are named, John Blanchard, never laid eyes on the splendid wonder that lay beneath his homestead. It wasn't until 1934 when there was the first recorded account of modern man entering the caverns by Willard Hadley, a Forest Service recreation planner. Then for another 20 years, the caverns remained silent again, except for the dripping of water. In 1955, several cavers began 5 years of exploration, and that's when the remains of the prehistoric Native American were discovered. Then in 1960, cavers Hugh Shell and Hale Bryant began more extensive exploration, mapping and photographing miles of cavern passageways. In 1963, they discovered the upper level that is now called the Dripstone Trail. In 1964, a Life magazine photographer visited this upper level, and later Life called Blanchard Springs Caverns the cave find of the century. And so today, visitors from all over are exploring and discovering on their own.
What do you think, buddy? Pretty cool cave, huh?
The one part that I was surprised about was that bats aren't really that big. They're like as big as a thumb. And, well, I got a penny that looks like a bat. You know, it's like it has a picture of a bat on it. And there were crystals in the cave. I love crystals.
Some of those formations are really nice, aren't they?
Uh-huh.
Were you at all surprised about how big it is?
Yep. It was like really high. Like even higher than the top of that room over there.
What about the temperature? Were you surprised that it wasn't really cold, that it was kind of warm?
Well, I couldn't even feel it. I was wearing my jacket. Because I forgot to take it off.
What'd you think about being down there, the whole feeling you got about being down there?
Well, I thought it was really pretty down there, and I loved how the scenery was. And there were like lots of big cave rocks that I couldn't touch, and I followed the rules, and that's really good.
What'd you think of some of those formations?
They were really big and pretty, sparkly. Oh, and while I was down there, I saw like crickets, centipedes.
Any salamanders?
Nope.
No?
And I saw a wolf spider and a snail with a shell. And it was really nice.
Did you see any bat people? Just
Nope.
kidding. What'd you think of this cave?
Awesome.
That's about describes it. It is pretty awesome. Is there anything that surprised you about it?
That going on. A lot of it.
What'd you think of those columns?
Amazing.
Along with all the wondrous formations, there's still that one substance that always keeps coming up.
Bat guano. Bat poop.
What else did you see with the bats?
That's all I saw.
Did you see the skeletons?
Yes, bat skeletons.
You did. What'd you think about the bat skeletons?
Gross.
Well, nobody ever said cave exploration was all pretty and picturesque.
The Petit River Wildlife Management Area south of Dardanelle is one of the best places in west central Arkansas to view winter waterfowl, not to mention old bridges such as this bowstring bridge.
We have a bridge down here at a place called Mickle Switch. And recently the Game and Fish Commission approved the donation of that bridge to the city of Danville. Bowstring bridges, is my understanding that there's only 2 in the country. They both are in Arkansas, and one of them happens to be located here across the Petit River. We will be moving that bridge to the city of Danville, where it will be basically revamped, and it'll be placed across a stream there at a very unique location for the city of Danville for the entirety of its lifespan.
Once again, this area you had mentioned, although it doesn't look like much right now, but normally we'd be standing on what?
Normally, right now, the road that our trucks are sitting on, me and you would be underwater, and the trucks where they're sitting would be in 3 to 4 feet of water or more.
And it's pretty good fishing too, I understand.
Yeah, times of the year you can really rack up on the crappie, bass, stuff like that, bluegill.
The Petit River Wildlife Management Area is located 10 miles south of Dardanelle along Highways 7 and 10.
Currently, we're located on Cane Island Slough, which is on the west side of the Petit River Wildlife Management Area. And the Petit River Wildlife Management Area is approximately around 16,000 acres of bottomland hardwood with some protruding upland pine hardwood ridges. Some of the things we'll be looking at today is a walk-in turkey area that we just established on the west side of the area, north of the Petit River. It was one of those places where, you know, as far as bottomland hardwood goes, habitat, having it be there, it's one of those places where the turkeys could do some nesting and not have to worry about their eggs or their poults drowning in the floods that, you know, come periodically throughout the year.
Bottomland habitat is far and few between these days.
Yes, it is. Bottomland hardwoods are one of the most endangered habitats left in the United States. There's approximately 10 to 15% of that original bottomland hardwood left.
Tell us about some of the other, like the moist soil units and for the waterfowl, and then also what's been done to get the shorebirds to hang around.
Well, the Petit River, since it's bottomland hardwoods, when the river leaves its banks, a lot of this forest is flooded and very useful for migrating waterfowl and for waterfowl hunters. And on the east side of the management area, we have some what we call moist soil units, and those are areas where we can hold water and control the water levels and manage for waterfowl and shorebirds. And then we have another area that we'll look at later today called Pulling Pond. There's no water in it right now, but it's about 800 acres, and at some point there along its history, it became choked out in buckbrush and became unusable really for boaters and waterfowl hunters. So we've gone in there in the last year to 2 years and drained that thing and pushed all that buckbrush up into piles, and we're going to start developing it for shorebirds as well. Waterfowl will use it.
The Petit River Wildlife Management Area is also the northernmost area of the country where the American alligator can still be found.
We have a lake on the other side, on the east side of Highway 7 there, called Kingfisher Lake. That lake was built for the purpose of flooding those moist soil units, but we have a population of alligators in there, and it's basically my understanding that you can't go any further north in the United States and find a breeding population of alligators. Maybe Hollow Bend National Wildlife Refuge, but those gators are in and out of there more or less. They may migrate south down the river or stay in there at different times of the years, but our alligators in Kingfisher Lake are pretty much fixed to that lake.
Due to the fact that we shot this segment in the middle of winter, needless to say, we didn't spot any gators on this outing. The chances are much better during spring and summer. So whether you come for the wildlife or the old historic bridges, a drive through the Petit River Wildlife Management Area south of Dardanelle is rewarding just about any time, especially around sunset.
Brian Emfinger with me here of near Ozark, and my book is one of the top waterfall explorers, discoverers. In the past, he's taken us to a couple waterfalls, and today he's going to take us to a couple more. White Oak Creek Falls and Shower Chair Falls. Let's do it, Brian.
Both of the waterfalls that Brian and I are taking you to in this segment are located north of Ozark, taking Highway 219 north into the Ozark National Forest. To reach White Oak Creek Falls after 219 turns into gravel at 8.5 miles, keep straight on Pink Twist Road. whereupon after 2.7 miles, you'll turn left onto Barnes Road. Then at 2.8 miles off to the left, look for the remnants of an old Forest Service road. And depending on what kind of vehicle you're in, at this point, you may just want to hike in the rest of the way, which will be about 3/4 of a mile until you reach the top of White Oak Creek Falls. To get to the bottom of the falls, just backtrack a few yards and ease your way down the bluff line.
White Oak Creek Falls is the waterfall that really I credit with kind of getting me started. I'd found some waterfalls before, but it was this bluff line at this elevation that was really the key to my finding a whole bunch of waterfalls. It's at about 1,400 feet elevation, and all of the rock strata around here are flat lying. And I started looking around on the maps and stuff, and wherever creeks cross this bluff line, there's usually waterfalls, especially if it's a larger creek like this. Bingham Hollow Falls, Sentinel Rock Falls, they're all on the same bluff line. It varies in thickness, but that's really just about all the big falls I found are on this bluff line. It's over this whole area. White Oak Creek, this is the northern branch of White Oak Creek, and it flows into the park there near Mulberry, or between Mulberry and Ozark on the Arkansas. And so this one, I just named it after the creek, White Oak Creek Falls, and that's it.
And you were able to take a really neat shot of the falls and the stars.
Yes, it's kind of one of those, there's not too many waterfalls in Arkansas that don't have a bunch of trees around them. And so it's very difficult to take pictures of the sky and pictures of the waterfall at the same time, especially at dark. And so a few weeks ago, I came down here. It was about a half moon. If the moon's too bright, you can't see the stars very well. If it's too dim, it won't illuminate the waterfall. And so it was like 20 degrees. I pitched my tent right there on those rocks and had my camera up all night. And it's actually really turned out to be a really, really nice picture. The moon was just the perfect illumination for the waterfall. I didn't have to use any unnatural lights. It was all natural moonlight.
Brian has also taken this spectacular shot of White Oak Creek Falls from the backside when it was completely frozen. To get to Brian's other waterfall, Shower Chair Falls, you'll want to go back down to Highway 219 to just before it turns into Blacktop, and then turn left onto Mountain Top Road. At the T intersection, turn left onto County Road 12. Go past the S curve, staying to the right at the Y until you get down to the bottom of the hill, then turn right onto Old Forest Road 4406A. Go approximately 3/4 of a mile and park on the left. From there, it's a matter of once again making your way down the bluff line to the base of Shower Chair Falls.
There's no geographic references for this, and it was a nice waterfall, and it definitely deserved a name. When I first found it, it was like a couple summers ago. It was really hot, and I saw that formation there where the rock is, and that's where all the water was hitting there, and so I actually sat down in it. It was very comfy, and so I thought about a few names that could possibly be it, and Shower Chair was one of the first ones that kind of popped into my head, and I talked to a few people, asked Tim Ernst about it, and they seemed to think Shower Chair was a fitting name.
Well, if I had a change of clothes with me, I'd sit there. I don't.
It would be a little cold today.
For Brian's other waterfalls and much more, check out his website, brianemfinger.com.
check out White Oak Creek Falls and Shower Chair Falls. And for the GPS coordinates for both of these falls, you can find them on our website at aetn.org/exploringarkansas, where you can also find much more information on all our other destinations, plus view more than 200 videos. And we'll see you again the next time for another exciting adventure on Exploring Arkansas.